Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive? Today we're tackling a question that's deceptively simple, like, why is learning English such a big deal these days? We all know it's important, but today we're going to dig into the less obvious stuff too. And get this, we've got not one, but two expert English teachers with us,
Mm.
Alex and Emma. They see firsthand how English impacts people's lives, so get ready for some seriously unique insights.
Well, hey, glad to be here.
Super excited to dive in with you both.
Now, I know from your conversation, you both came up with some seriously compelling reasons to learn English, not just the get a better job stuff, but stuff that really gets at how English shapes our thinking and how we connect with the world.
Absolutely. A lot of
Yeah.
our students come to us thinking about those career opportunities, which is totally understandable.
Oh yeah, makes sense. You don't need to be a CEO to see how English dominates the business world.
For sure. And it's not even just about getting hired, right? It's the nuances of communication,
Mm.
like negotiating a deal or understanding, the cultural context behind a marketing campaign.
Right.
Those are
Exactly.
the things that can make or break a business.
It's true. You can know all the technical terms, but if you can't actually connect with your colleagues across the globe, you're missing out on a whole layer of understanding.
Right. And that's where it gets really interesting because this connection piece goes way beyond business.
Okay, so let's talk about that. You mentioned a statistic about online content that completely blew my mind. Something like 80% of it is in English.
Over 80%,
Mm.
actually. So if you can read English, you're not just getting the news faster, you're tapping into this global network of ideas.
That makes you wonder, though, does that create an uneven playing field? If so much knowledge is primarily in English,
Yeah.
are we limiting the perspectives we're exposed to?
It's a really valid question. And it's not just casual browsing either. Think about researchers in developing countries. They might have groundbreaking ideas, but struggle to get published in those English language journals.
Oh, absolutely. Or even just staying up to date on the latest developments in their field. That kind of information gap can have a real impact on innovation.
For sure. And this extends beyond just academic research, too.
Mhm.
Even online courses or the latest tech trends, so much of it is in English first. So while the internet has the potential to democratize knowledge, there's still this barrier.
So in a way, knowing English is almost like having this backstage pass to a whole world of information and opportunities, stuff that might not be as accessible otherwise.
Exactly.
Mm.
And, for a lot of our students, that's a huge motivator. They see English as the key to unlocking those doors.
Now, speaking of doors opening, you both also talked about the impact of English on education and scholarships, particularly relevant for anyone dreaming of studying abroad.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not even just about getting accepted into a prestigious university. It's about being able to actually thrive once you're there.
Right. Imagine being in a seminar at Oxford, surrounded by students from all over the world, and being able to fully participate in the discussion.
Right. And it's not just the classroom experience. Think about the research opportunities, the collaborations with international students, or even just navigating daily life in a new country.
Yeah.
English fluency makes all of that so much smoother.
Yeah, it really is about immersing yourself in that global learning environment, and just taking advantage of all those opportunities.
It's interesting because we often talk about English as this practical tool, but what you're both highlighting is how it opens up these incredible personal growth experiences. It's not just about getting a job, it's about expanding your whole worldview.
Exactly. And that brings us to another aspect we were talking about, the power of English for global communication.
Ah, yes. This is where things get really exciting for me. It's like English becomes this universal language, it connects people from all walks of life.
It's the lingua franca of our time, for sure. And, it's fascinating how it bridges those cultural divides. It allows for communication that might not otherwise be possible.
I remember this one time I was traveling in South America, and I found myself in this tiny village, way off the beaten path, and I didn't speak a word of Spanish, and most of the locals didn't speak English, but we managed to communicate, with lots of hand gestures and laughter and using those few English words we all knew.
That's awesome. It's those unexpected moments that really highlight the connective power of English.
It really did.
Yeah.
And it made me realize that even a basic understanding of English can open up these incredible opportunities for connection and cultural exchange.
Right. And it's not just limited to face-to-face interactions. Think about the online world.
Mm.
Social media, online forums, professional networks. English is the dominant language in all those spaces.
It's true. It allows people all over the world to share ideas, collaborate on projects, and engage in conversations that transcend geographical boundaries.
And it's constantly evolving too, New words and slang are being created all the time, which reflects the dynamic nature of the language and the people who use it.
So it's not just about learning a set of rules and vocabulary. It's about tapping into this living, breathing language that's constantly being shaped by the world around us.
And that I think is what makes learning English so enriching. It's not just a skill, it's a journey of discovery and connection.
You both touched on something earlier that I want to come back to, this idea of connection and personal growth. If we look at all the benefits you've discussed, there's this underlying theme of how English helps us broaden our horizons, literally and figuratively.
It's true. And, there's even research to back this up. Studies have shown that bilingualism can have cognitive benefits like boosting problem solving skills and increasing cognitive flexibility.
So it's not just about speaking another language. It's
Yeah.
about literally changing the way you think.
Exactly. It's about becoming more adaptable, more open to new ideas, and just better equipped to navigate a world that's increasingly interconnected.
I love that. It's like learning English isn't just adding another tool to your toolbox. It's about upgrading your whole operating system.
That's a great analogy.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the benefits of learning English, I think it's safe to say that you've both made a compelling case for why it's such a valuable endeavor. You've shown us how it can open doors to careers, knowledge, education, global communication, and ultimately personal growth.
And, for anyone listening who's been considering taking the plunge into learning English, I'd say go for it. Embrace the challenge and enjoy the journey and discover that incredible world that awaits you.
It's an investment that will pay off in countless ways, enriching your life both personally and professionally.
Beautifully said. It really is like you're not just learning a language, you're opening up a whole new dimension of possibilities.
Exactly. And that brings us to the heart of why learning English is so beneficial in today's world. It's not just a skill you put on your resume. It's a passport to a richer, more connected life.
Yeah, it really equips you to navigate a globalized world, engage with diverse perspectives, and just unlock those opportunities you might not have even imagined before.
So as we wrap up this deep dive with you both, Alex and Emma, I think it's safe to say that you two have highlighted why learning English is such a valuable endeavor. You've shown how it opens doors to careers, knowledge, education, global communication, and ultimately personal growth.
We hope so. It's been wonderful to share our perspectives and insights with you today.
And for anyone listening who might be thinking, okay, this all sounds great, but where do I even begin? What advice would you give them?
I'd say start small.
Yeah.
Don't get overwhelmed by the idea of becoming perfectly fluent overnight. Find something you enjoy, whether it's watching movies, listening to music, or reading books in English, and just immerse yourself in it.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how you learn and grow. Find a language partner, join a conversation group, or even just start talking to yourself in English. The more you practice, the more confident you become.
That's such great advice. It's about finding those little ways to incorporate English into your daily life and making it a fun, enjoyable experience.
Absolutely. And remember, learning a language is a journey. It's not a destination,
Yeah.
right? There will be ups and downs, but the rewards are immeasurable.
So true. Now, before we go, I want to leave you with a thought to ponder. We've talked about how English is this dominant global language, but the world is constantly changing, right? Technology is evolving, cultures are interacting in new ways. So, what do you think? How might the role of English evolve in the future?
That is a fascinating question. It's hard to predict with certainty, but I think we'll see even more emphasis on intercultural communication skills. Knowing English will still be important, but being able to navigate those cultural nuances and communicate effectively across different languages and backgrounds, I think that will become even more crucial.
That's such a great point. It's not just about knowing the words, it's about understanding the context, the culture, the unspoken rules of communication.
Right. And who knows, maybe we'll see the rise of new global languages or even technological tools that make language barriers a thing of the past.
That's an exciting thought. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to encourage all of you out there to keep exploring, keep learning, and keep connecting. The world is full of incredible opportunities, and knowing English can help you unlock them. Until next time on The Deep Dive.